Hi, my name is Angela Skurtu, and you can find me at www.therapistsinstlouis.com. Today, I want to talk to you about how to stay intimately connected when somebody is sick or ill. So this is actually really relevant given the COVID situation. I know we've been in a pandemic for a very long time, and the reality is that during times of sickness, like when you get COVID, for example, you are expected to stay away from people. So in my own relationship, me and my partner and our family, COVID has hit this house 3 different times. Despite doing our best to try not to get it. And essentially, each time I've gotten it or my partner's gotten it, and we haven't both gotten it. We've had to quarantine essentially from each other. So during this quarantine time, what I found is we would feel kind of disconnected because obviously we couldn't even talk to each other. We couldn't even, well, that's not true. We could talk to each other, but we couldn't cuddle, connect. We couldn't make love. We couldn't kiss, right? Some of the things that we do day to day that help us feel connected and close. So during this last COVID time, one of the things that we did is we were watching a show, and we had separated our couches. So we were in the same room, but we had put our couches as far away from each other as possible so that we could be in the same room at least while watching a show. But I noticed personally that as I was sitting there, I didn't feel connected to him because we could have been in 2 separate rooms essentially. So instead of watching TV, I asked him, could we take this time after we put my kiddo to bed, because I have a kiddo. So it was around 9 to 10 o'clock. I asked him if during COVID, while we were in quarantine, if we could sit way, way, way across from each other, but have deep conversations about how we're feeling in life and what we want out of life and things we're struggling with. And I've got to say, it really shifted, like for me personally, after that 10-day period, I felt more connected to my partner, and it was easier to get back into intimacy with him, like kissing and cuddling and doing all those things. So I encourage you as a couple, if you are wanting to keep up your intimacy in some way, find ways to communicate when you're sick. So intimacy isn't all about sex. It isn't all about touching. It isn't all about kissing. Intimacy is about feeling vulnerable and connected to each other. And so one way to stay connected intimately is to have conversations, is to flirt via text. If you really are in separate rooms, sending each other text messages. There are couples that have long distance relationships that still find ways to connect with each other. And usually it's through texting or even FaceTime. That's another thing, is you can have some FaceTime so you at least feel like you're having conversations and you can be playful and connect. But you don't have to use sickness as an excuse to not have some kind of intimacy. You just have to have openness to what intimacy looks like. And for me, as a sex therapist, I think of intimacy as a big, broad umbrella of multiple things. Talking can be included in that. Sharing deepest, darkest secrets or things that you're struggling with in life. Talking about the future or nostalgia, like the past. Any of those conversations can be deeper conversations that help people feel connected when they literally need to be distanced. So I want you to think about that the next time you're sick or you are long distance from your partner, thinking about it that way as well. What are things that I can do to keep up intimacy with my partner so we feel close, even when you feel kind of crappy? All right, this is Angela Skurtu with St. Louis Marriage Therapy. And you can find me at www.therapistsinstlouis.com. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.